So yeah, we're here at the Department of Materials Engineering in Vancouver, Canada, in the University of British Columbia. Um, I just wanted to kind of take some time to show how we are trying to use Simufact welding in our course over here, and how we're trying to introduce materials engineering students who typically don't do a lot of modeling in the undergraduate level, especially. Um, how to introduce them to modeling, how to make sense of simulation models, and develop their own models as well as part of this course that we do over here. So just a brief introduction to the course. This is a fourth year course in the Materials Engineering department. It's a 3 credit course where 4 hours of instructions are split between lecture and lab components. And the lab components mainly focus on using simulation software like Simufact Welding to be able to develop models for welding um, different components. So the course covers a wide variety of welding processes, welding physics, and welding metallurgy, and usually has about 20 to 30 students each year. It is also accredited through the Canadian Welding Board for qualified weld engineer requirements as well. So again, some of the major concepts that are covered in this course are welding fundamentals and theory, the different kinds of welding processes of arc welding and resistance welding processes, um, looking at weld quality and defects, looking at how do we do inspection and testing methods, weld documentation and standards. So how do you specify welds and develop procedures for welding as well? And of course, a lot of welding modeling and simulation, and then a project that involves developing their own model for a particular welding engineering problem. They also get to do, or at least in the past couple of years, we've tried to also get a welding demo in as well at the machine shop in our department for them to get a little bit more exposure to uh, looking at welding directly and be able to relate that better to the models that they're trying to make as well. So through the course, especially the lab component of the course, the students are introduced to the concepts of computational welding mechanics. Um, this is a complex multi-physics process where the thermal gradients during the welding process affect your microstructure, and these lead to residual stresses, which also affect your mechanical properties. Now, of course, Simufact Welding is a thermomechanical software, so it doesn't particularly model, or at least not directly model, a lot of microstructural changes or fluid dynamics within the melt pool, but it does give a good understanding of the temperatures during the welding, especially when you're considering the moving heat source that is involved in a welding process, and how that can be sequentially coupled with a mechanical model to be able to predict distortions and residual stresses, and be able to tailor your welding strategy in a way to minimize some of these distortion and poor effects of these residual stresses as well. So how do we actually kind of use the core software in the course itself? So thankfully, there's a lot of great examples that are inbuilt into Simufact Welding, which can get students to uh, basically start using the software or hit the ground running pretty quickly in terms of being able to import geometry, finding and applying the right material, um, applying clamps and other boundary conditions, set up weld trajectories and heat sources, And so, in fact, welding also has a very convenient remesh tool to be able to improve mesh density right near the weld as well. So this allows students, they don't have to do a lot more work to be able to individually define the meshes or refine meshes near that area. So it allows them to really just get started on a model really quickly and start experimenting with different parameters and see how they affect the melt pool and the corresponding distortions that occur because of that. So this part is really useful to have a good understanding of the process flow of the software and understanding how to set up your own model. The next step is to try to make sense of the model and make it more complicated as well. So students then learn how to use multiple robots. So in Simufact Welding, a robot is just um, a setup used to define a weld. So you can have multiple robots welding at the same time. So you can have multiple welds going on, and then also starting to understand how to do post processing of your results. So be able to extract results from particular locations within your model. So like a probe or a particle in this case, which can be used to give information over the simulation time. And then also be able to extract these results, maybe export them to a different format, or even plot them uh, within the software setup itself. And then we also take them through another simple example of using a butt weld in this case. And here they can also start building up their own geometry. So using some of the simpler shapes, the simple geometries are available within Simufact Welding, and building those models within Simufact, being able to generate a weld bead based on certain parameters that are defined for them as well, um, creating other kinds of boundary conditions, which in this case are local joints, um, which represent tack welds to fix the parts together at the beginning of the process, and then you apply the weld later on as well. So this gives them a different perspective, a different process to look at, and they get to build the model from scratch in this case. So they have now done all of the things that you are expected to do in a finite element model, which is building the geometry, applying loadings and boundary conditions, remeshing or meshing in this case, and then being able to extract and post process those results based on the once this analysis has been completed. Then they actually get to do another example where we try to look at a real part that we build in our machine shop over here. Uh, and they try to predict the distortions for that particular geometry. So they would model this particular geometry in Simufact Welding. Again, it's a fairly simple model that can be built using the shapes or the primitives available within the software itself. And they're able to build that model and simulate the welding distortions based on the process conditions that are given to them uh, based on how the part was made as well. So they also get to do a little bit of validation of their models as well. So one of the key things to look at is making sure that the heat source parameters are correct. So being able to understand whether or not the applied heat is causing enough of a melting of the weld geometry that they've defined. And this is defined based on taking sections of that completed part and etching them to understand where the melting has happened, where the heat affected zone is, and then they are able to use this information to be able to uh, reduce or increase the power that is supplied to the weld to match it more closely to what's happening in the real process. And hopefully, once that is done, they've been able to understand that heat source. That should then help them create a model that can predict distortions a little bit better. So again, they apply the tack welds according to how the part was made. They, in this case, do all the four welds that are expected. And once the part was made in the actual shop, we actually did a 3D scan of the part so that they had some data that they could use to, at least on a qualitative level, compare some of the trends of the distortion across the base of the plate compared to what they were getting in their simulations. Again, this is meant to give them a little bit more of an insight into how these models are developed and trying to understand some of the limitations of modeling. And I think most importantly is how difficult it is to nail down all the different process parameters and process conditions um, from a real world situation. So once they kind of go through all of these examples, they also have a term project that they perform in teams of 4 to 6. So they are trying to choose an industrially relevant welding scenario, and they look this up through a bunch of maybe research papers or yeah, mainly looking through research papers of what is the relevant or important problems that are happening in the welding field, uh, and use that to find what kind of materials are being used, what is the heat source parameters that the for that particular situation, model the geometry of the scenario, and then model the distortions by varying the process parameters to get the best case scenario for reduced distortion, basically. So we help them come up with a project proposal and provide them feedback afterwards so that they can adjust the scope and scale of the model. One thing, students will come up always with a really large model with like millions of elements, and it'll be really difficult for them to simulate something like that within the scope of the course. Then they talk about their progress through the middle of the term, where we again provide them feedback with their meshing, varying what kind of parameters they can vary, and then there's a final presentation at the end of the term as well. So just briefly want to talk about some of the example projects students have done before. So again, they do all of these basic examples and then they come up with the rest of it themselves. So in this case, the students had modeled this laser hybrid welding for an automotive application. So generating this model in a different software, whether that's a different CAD software, and then they import that within the Simufact software, be able to mesh it, do the right boundary conditions and clamping conditions, and simulate that as well. Another example was the welding of two pipes together for a nuclear reactor cooling setup. This one needed multiple welds within the same location, so being able to model the different welding passes and create the geometry required for that, and then coming up with what those distortions are going to be like. And another example was the steel stiffener weld for a marine pile cap structure. So again, a little bit more for complex geometry that they had to import and mesh within the software, find the right kind of clamping and boundary conditions that would be needed for this setup and be able to simulate that within the time of the course as well. So I think if one were to adapt this in their own classroom, I think some of the things would be to have more experimental or empirical data available for validation of these models. Um, because I think one of the things to appreciate again for any kind of modeling process is garbage in is garbage out. So if you don't set up your model properly, you're not going to get the results that you need, even if you get some really pretty graphs at the end of your simulation. So uh, hopefully by the end of this term, we'll add more and more data with some of the stuff that we've been making in the shop and simulating as well, so that they can compare those things better. Students always will underestimate time to run a simulation, especially larger simulations like this. Uh, and also because all of the students are running the software natively on their own computers, it can really depend, their experience can really depend upon what kind of computing resources they have as well. So this is something that is because Simufact Welding is a pretty heavy software. That is something that is challenging and something to keep in mind when students are trying to make their own larger models as well for this. We also do have access to some computational power on within our department as well. So something we have considered is giving students access to run the solver on the computational cluster. And but again, that's a work in progress for that as well. Uh, One of the things is being able to import geometry from different softwares is always challenging for students as well, in terms of making sure the units are consistent in the way that they've defined them in the different software and making sure that that's the right one that's been imported. Um, and then being able to mesh or remesh things within Simufact is something that also they have to work on a little bit as well. So being choosing the right conditions is important in that case. And I think that's it from me over here.